The only thing that works is work. There's no secret formula. There's no magic pill. There's no do this and you have overnight success. No. The only thing that works is work.
Hey, I'm Andrew Hales. Welcome to another edition of Chatting With. I'm here with Caleb. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, millionaire?
Millionaire, that's right.
And you just turned 17 yesterday.
Yes, my birthday was yesterday.
From books, selling books?
Mm-hmm. Well, a couple different things. So that was one of them. I've written 9 books.
Yeah.
So that was one avenue.
I can't even get one done, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it wasn't that I made money through books. Actually, that's the myth that people have about books. They think you make a lot of money from selling books. What you make the money on is leveraging the book that you wrote. So I haven't actually made over $1 million just from the books I've sold, but it's being able to say that I've written 9 books. It's been using that to get on stages to propel my other companies.
And you wrote your first book at 14.
13. Wrote at 13.
Did you promote it at all, like through Facebook or?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it'd be fun to say it magically popped, right? Because that's what we expect. You see someone like, Justin Bieber blow up, just magically one day, boom.
Yeah.
But you don't see the stuff before that.
Right.
It's like the whole cliche quote, you always see the glory, but you don't see the story. I think about it so constantly, like so much. I'm so obsessed with seeing people win and having a 180-degree transformation that there's no other option than for me to put in the work, than for me to show up day in and day out.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think you got into being a motivational speaker?
I think it's because I've seen what these principles have done for me. Mm-hmm. Seen how, like, being able to travel the world, doing what I love doing, have becoming financially free, living with a passion. I've seen how much better that is than floating through life. Like, a lot of people, they're like a plastic bag in the middle of a parking lot during a hurricane. They're just floating all around, like life just happens to them. Yeah. Like, I've just seen what life is like when you are focused, when you have a mission, what you want out of life. And I see the alternative of other kids who are, average, normal. And it's not that they're bad, but just I know the fulfillment that comes with impacting people. Yeah. And to me, I don't know exactly why. It could be, my dad took me on over 53 mission trips whenever I was younger. And I remember, going into a lot of homeless shelters. I remember one time specifically, my dad and I gave these 2 kids a pillow for Christmas because they didn't have any pillow to sleep on. And I remember they cried. And I remember
out of gratitude?
Out of gratitude.
Wow.
And at first, whenever they cried, I thought they were crying out of all I got was a pillow for Christmas. Because I was maybe 9 or 10 at this age. And they were crying out of gratitude. And I remember thinking, wow, there's some kids who cry because they get the wrong colored iPhone and they're mad. Yeah. And there's other kids who cry because they get a pillow and they're grateful.
And your dad kind of got you into, what's he do?
So he does similar things. He's been doing speaking. He was actually a preacher for about 17 years, I think it was. Okay. So from 20 to almost 40. He doesn't do as much preaching now. He does more speaking as well. He's been an entrepreneur. He's owned a lot of different businesses. He's worked for himself since he was 20. We actually co-own the coachandspeak.com. That's the one thing that we kind of do together. And
coachandspeak.com is a place for other coaches to learn how to speak.
Not just learn how to speak, learn how to get paid to speak. Okay. Because a lot of people have a message, but it's also how do you make money doing it?
Man, what's most money you've made in a gig?
My dad and I, we did.
I mean, you don't have to answer that.
No, for sure. I'll answer it. Right. We did an hour speech one time to, I think it was 100 people, and we made $60,000 in an hour. Wow. From one speech.
Damn. I gotta do that.
Hey, we can teach you, bro. We know someone. We know someone who can help you with that. See, there's somebody that if a year ago they would have started a YouTube channel or something like that and started pushing out content, today they would have millions of subscribers, be impacting millions of people, and be making tens of millions of dollars a year. There's somebody in this room with $1 million idea, but the problem is they're putting in a minimum wage execution. So the first way that I made $100,000 by 14 years old is I stopped saying that I'm going to do something, and I actually took action.
Your enthusiasm is unparalleled. It's totally infectious too. I was watching one and I was like, whoa, damn. Where?
And the reason why people ask me, they're like, how do you have so much energy? Yeah. Here's how I think of it. And this is the problem most people, right? They charge their phone constantly. Think about this, right? They're constantly plugging in their phone. If their phone's about to die, they start getting some sort of anxiety. They immediately plug it in. Why? Because it's a priority to them that their phone is charged. Yet their own selves, they don't charge, meaning their own personal energy and battery gets drained because they keep doing things that are draining their battery. They're around people that drain their energy. They're around, they eat things that drain their energy. They watch things that drain their energy. They constantly are doing things that are draining them. But then you find the successful people are constantly doing things that charge them. That's why to me it's practical to be around good people, to be around people that fuel you rather than drain you. So for me, I realized like, hey, my energy's getting lower. And it's not just enthusiasm. This is what I like about you. You have good energy.
Thanks.
You're not massively enthusiastic. That like I watched your interview, I was like, man, it's kind of interesting. You got all these people watch you and you're not enthusiastic, which I respect, but you got good energy.
Thanks.
There's a difference between enthusiasm and energy. And I think if you can start to, on a daily basis, do more things that charge you than drain you. Literally, like you think of it like you're charging your phone. Because people put their phone as more of a priority than they do their own selves. Start doing things that charge you. Get around people that charge you. Write down, I have 35 friends. Which ones charge me and which ones drain me? And you're not going to cut the ones that drain you out.
What if everyone drains me?
If everyone drains you, well, then okay, that's practical.
You're clearly an extrovert, and the difference.
I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert who learned to be extroverted.
You sure?
Positive.
Yeah.
So positive.
I guess that's pseudoscience too. I guess, but I've always. Introverts, they lose energy from talking to people, and extroverts get energy from talking to people.
I actually, even yesterday, I was at an event the entire day and we were taking pictures, doing videos, interviews, all that stuff. It does drain me. But the thing is, even though it drains me, it fuels my mission and it's something that's required of me to do. So I've learned to become that. That's why I still make time to be by myself, to relax, to recharge, to, I'd say out of the week, it's probably 3 or 4 days I'm doing meetings, interviews, and the other 3 or 4 days I'm trying to recharge, get focused, and execute. I'm someone who, and that's the problem with most people. You want to know one of the observations I made? What would change your life is if you stop sitting down and thinking, this is who I am, and you start asking, how can I become who I need to be? I know that sounds really cliche and rah-rah type stuff, but it's actually practical because people live a life and they say, I'm not confident. Well, then my actual question to you is what DNA molecule defines that you're not confident? You know what I mean? There is nothing in your DNA. It's a straight up mindset that you're not confident. Because I grew up thinking I'm not confident. The first change my dad made to give me confidence was to tell me, Caleb, you need to stop saying you don't have confidence. This is step one. I thought I couldn't speak on stage. Imagine if I sat down and said to myself, I can't speak on stage. And I made that a part of who I am. I made that a part of my belief system, everything. Then I would not be able to speak on stage in front of 3,000, 5,000 people and impact people at the rate I do. There would be people, I had people come up to me at events and tell me that after I gave a speech, they decided not to commit suicide.
Wow.
Those people would be dead right now if I would have chose to believe who I was rather than to sit down and say, who do I need to become? And what I did is this. I imagined life was a movie. And I wrote out the end plot to my movie. I thought I was watching The Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith, and I was thinking, when Will Smith was recording this, he wasn't homeless. He plays a homeless character, and he wasn't actually homeless, but in that moment, he became homeless in his mind so he could portray this to a screen, and we all believed him. I was like, what if I could do that in life? What if I say, here's my movie, here's how I want it to play out, here's the character I need to become to get there. Yeah. And I did this. This is how I became a millionaire. People ask me, how'd you become a millionaire? It's very simple. I literally wrote out, who do I need to become a millionaire? How does a millionaire act? How do they talk? What do their day-to-day look like? What's their habits? And I started to become that person, and I became a millionaire. The day I became a millionaire, I was in San Diego. It was this February, actually, so almost a year ago. And I became a millionaire, and my team messaged me, and they said, you're officially a millionaire. Congratulations.
Your team?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a team. I have, maybe 20 to 30 people on my team. And I was with my friend, and I looked at him. I'm thinking, because this was kind of a goal of mine for a little bit. It was never my obsession. My obsession was impacting people, and becoming a millionaire was the byproduct of that. But I came in, I was like, I told this guy, I was like, dude, I just became a millionaire. And he was like, no way, bro. He started cheering for me. How do you feel?
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I was like, it's funny. I feel the exact same way I did 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I just didn't have the money yet. Meaning, I was a millionaire 2 years ago. I just didn't have $1 million. But everything a millionaire does, the way they act, the way, like I said, the way they talk, the way they think, the people they're around, I was already there. And it made me realize in that moment, you become the person it takes to get to the goal, and then you'll get to the goal. Get it in.
You're gonna go
What you thinking so far, bro?
It's awesome.
One of the most intriguing interviews I've ever been in. It's kind of interesting. I like it.
What do you do for fun? Like when I was your age, I was just wanted to have fun. I mean, I still just want to have fun mostly, but
no, for sure. I get that all the time. You know, first of all, what I do is so much fun. It's like asking an athlete, what do you do for fun? They're usually going to answer whatever their sport is. To me, this is like my sport. I like, there's no more fun to me than being on stage and someone coming up and saying that I changed their life. Like, that to me is my fun. Then also, like, I play sports. I like the scooters in LA. You know those? Yeah. That's fun, bro. We do those all the time. Those are clutch. Like, since those came out, I love those. Yeah. But to me, like, you know, people always say that, like, Caleb, aren't you missing out on your childhood? And my answer is always like, okay, what's that mean? Well, like, you're not having fun. Well, first of all, I have more fun than all my friends do. Guarantee you that. Like, I get to travel, meet people. I literally am, like, have so much fun. But if you're telling me that I'm not having fun because I'm missing out on my childhood, then aren't you missing out on your adulthood? Like, what's to say that just when you become an adult, the fun should stop? For me, I know that I'm setting myself up to where my entire life is going to be filled with fun. It's going to be filled with enjoyment, with fulfillment, with impacting people, with doing what I love. That, to me, is more powerful than, you know, going and spray painting some building somewhere.
What are you going to do after you get $1 billion? You're going to give speeches, keep writing books? What do I do after I give? I mean, to me, money doesn't change anything. Yeah. Like, people say, like, what are you going to do when you become a millionaire? Right. It's like saying, like, what are you going to do after you eat, this thing? It's like, well, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go right back to living my life. Like, it's, to me, it's the same difference. I mean, I by the way, I don't want to become a billionaire just because of the money. To me, like, dude, you have $100 million. It's not much different than $1 billion, right? $50 million, whatever. But for me, I want to become a billionaire because the person you have to become a billionaire. Like, if you're around billionaires, like the problems they solve. We were with 2 people this week, and they're literally solving world problems, like creating products that literally is going to revolutionize, like, stop, like, poverty, energy, like, just the craziest solutions they're solving. I want to become a billionaire because the level you play at once you have $1 billion and the resources and the people you can impact. I mean, Bill Gates has given over $60 billion to charities. He's saved countries. Yeah. That's power. Yeah. And that's influence more than just power. And that, to me, is why I want to become a billionaire. But my life's not going to change once I do. I'll still be doing everything I do now, just on a way higher scale. And I might get one private jet. That might be my fun thing. What other aspirations do you plan on executing in the future?
So this whole 180 movement that we actually launched it yesterday on my birthday.
What's movement mean? What's that mean?
A movement, so like a lot of creators, they create content, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to create content. I don't want to just put out videos that someone's like, oh, they like it or whatever. I want to create a movement and a tribe of people who are having a 180-degree transformation. So a movement to me is somebody who's moving. It's a group of humans.
Aren't we all moving?
We're all moving, but not as fast as the 180 movement's going to be moving. I'll tell you that much. But I want a group of people. It's a group of people with the same mission. Okay. And the thing is, I used to call my audience the Maddox Addicts, right? And they came up with it, the Maddox Addicts. I actually revoked it. We're not calling them Maddox Addicts anymore because I don't want people to become an addict of me. Like, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my vision. Like, it's a great name, and people laughed and thought it was cool. But for me, it's
Hellraisers.
Hey, there you go. You're trying to come up with what's his name? You put it below. We might come up with your tribe name. But for me, so the 180 movement, the concept is, the majority of the human race having a 0-degree transformation. Meaning they're just in the exact same place. They're just they're just stagnant in their life, kind of just floating. Then there's some people who have a 360-degree transformation. Meaning that New Year's comes around and they'll go to the gym. They'll just they change, but then they change back. Yeah. I want to create a movement of people who have a 180-degree transformation, and then once they have that 180-degree transformation, they're done. They're locked in. When they change who they are, whenever they change their habits, all that, it becomes a part of who they are, and it really is that true transformation. And I want to move into people who are helping others have a 180-degree transformation, like where that's their focus. It's not Lambos, it's not cars, it's not money, watches, Rolexes, all the stuff that's get posted. That stuff is so, you know what I mean? Like
it's just a watch.
Yeah, it's just a watch. It literally is though.
What's my slogan?
Is that
really? It really is, yeah.
It's just a watch.
Like I actually bought itsjustawatch.com and I still need to link it, but yeah.
That's smart. I'll promote it whenever it comes out.
Yeah, you want one?
It out there. Can I?
Why do you think some people are more ambitious than others?
Well, okay, so
it just kind of boils down to personality, I feel like.
I don't think it is personality. I think because I've met a lot of people who were not ambitious at all, who had no mission, drugs, go down the list, and then something switched in them, And then they got that ambition, they found that obsession, and the next thing you know, they went off and had a lot of success.
It's just some random miracle.
It's not a random miracle. It could be literally someone watching this right now.
Yeah.
But the key is this. It comes back to that word obsession. It's what they found what their ambition is. Everyone has ambition. It's being human. But a lot of people don't know what their ambition is because they don't have any ambition to find their ambition.
Life has its ups and downs.
No question.
Are you always, when you're down, do you try to get happy, or do you just do you roll with it, or do you let it? I mean, do you have some mindset?
I don't try to get happy.
Do you have some mindset that snaps you out of it, or whatever?
I don't try to get happy. I try to get perspective.
Okay.
Happy is a weird word. I actually don't think it's possible to be happy.
Right.
It's literally it's actually 100% impossible because the word happy comes from the word happenings. So it means what's happening right now, you're cool with. In life, what's happening right now is not always going to be good. I've had times where I've literally looked in a mirror and thought, is this really the price I have to pay to get to my mission? Do I really have to make this sacrifice? Is this thing really going on? Elon Musk, everyone sees him, all his success, right? But he said he would literally rather eat glass than go through his journey again of how hard it's been.
Wow.
It's hard. But the thing is, I don't get happy. I mean, I'm not always going to get super enthusiastic. There's time to take L's and feel the pain. Sometimes it's healthy. But I do try to get perspective.
Well, this has been great. Do you have any last words?
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say I appreciate everyone's time and attention.
Yeah.
I'm 17 and I do have a lot of confidence, and I do know that what I say is valuable to people. At the same time, it's always crazy that I get to sit down and share my message.
Yeah.
And people spend time on it. So appreciate you guys doing this rather than watching some Netflix. But the final thing I would say is this. One of my main beliefs on life is the gun that kills the most people is the gonna. Meaning people say they're gonna write a book or gonna start a business, and that gun called gonna ends up killing their dreams. All I gotta say is this. It's, once again, one of these quotes that you see on Instagram, but there's 7 days in a week and some day isn't one of them. I look at me, I could have said, I'm gonna write a book. And I actually did. I write out my goals every morning. One of my goals was, I'm gonna write a book whenever I'm 20. And one day I was like, why do I have to wait till I'm 20? Why not just do it now? I literally pulled out the notes on my phone and started typing, and I look at the life I get to live, the traveling I get to do, the kids who have read my book. One kid read my book and started his own business and has a lot of success. He just got interviewed by Ryan Seacrest. I look at all these things that's happened, right? And it's man, if I wouldn't have done it, then that wouldn't have happened for those people. So my message is, don't be selfish. Show up in the way you need to know how, and it's time to show up now. Stop waiting. If you're a young person, I know there's a lot of young people that watch this. You're a young person, you say, I'm going to become a singer. Stop saying you're going to. That's what's stopping you. That gun is killing your singing dreams. You look at all the top singers, they went out and sung. They were on the streets. They made it happen. So that's my final message. The gun that kills the most people is the gun. Whatever your gun is, get rid of that gun. Take action now, and it'll shock you where you end up.
Nice. Please check out Caleb's information in the description. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll list it all.
Perfect.
And
see you then.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week.